I'm going to tell you about a time that I was a horrible person. The most dangerous people are those who will be loyal to a person, a religion, a government. You know, those people that are headstrong, like, I got my people, I got their back. These people are the ones who have caused wars, massacred people, followed cults, followed leaders like Hitler. These are dangerous people. And I would say that most people fall under this category in some way or another. And the most common way that you fall under this is people who have spouses or boyfriends or girlfriends. So when I was a horrible person, it was when I was a teen and I was loyal to my boyfriend, and the situation was very abusive because he wanted to control me and I wanted love from him, and I wanted it so bad, and I was so loyal to him that it got to the point where I would do anything he said. He literally said to me that I had to obey every single thing he said or he would break up with me. And I was so loyal to him that I did it. And he had to slowly break down my integrity to get me to do certain things. And that would be by asking me to do something small that I was against. And then he would reason it into me doing it. And then it would get bigger. And then it would get even worse. And I remember at one point, I had no place to live. I was 17, so I had to go back to my mom's house. And I was only there for a couple weeks, but he would call me on the phone and basically emotionally manipulate me so I would be crying for hours. And he told me that I needed to call all of my leftover friends, because I didn't have much now at this point, and tell them to fuck off, and I never wanted to talk to them again. And I cried and I begged him to not make me do this, which, again, I always had a choice. But I didn't feel like I did because my loyalty was to him. And he insisted, and so I did it, and I cried for hours about it. And luckily later in life, remember one person specifically that I did this to did forgive me. And basically she understood that I was in this really messed up relationship and what I was going through. And there's been many instances throughout my life, especially when I was young, of behaviors where I would do something out of loyalty for another or for a group, even religion, because I was in the LDS religion, which I ended up leaving. Ironically, when I was a teenager and I was in Young Women's, I got an award for my integrity. And this was before I got into that relationship, because when I felt like something was right, I would do it, and I didn't give a fuck about what anybody else said. But I was very loyal to that religion when I was in it. And so I would do things like pay tithing, go to church, fast, things like that my parents didn't even really do all the time. Sometimes they did, but they didn't all the time. Not consistently, not just because they wanted to, like I was doing. But it didn't matter to me what my parents were doing because it had nothing to do with my parents. It was about me. And the thing that actually got me out of that abusive relationship is he told me that I couldn't be my religion anymore. And that was where my line was crossed. And I was like, yeah, no. That's when it took me about a month or two to get the courage to get out of it. But whenever I hear of people that have such extreme loyalties to people, I don't trust them. Or people who have extreme loyalties to their religion or some group outside of themselves, I don't trust them. Because that group, that religion, that spouse, has control over them. People who say they need to ask their spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend If they can do something, I don't trust them. Because their loyalty is to make someone else happy rather than do what's right. They're not following their own internal guidance system, which everybody has. They're trying to please somebody else. And when you do that, you end up hurting other people because of your loyalty to another person or group. Ever since I have decided I would never be loyal to a person or a group or something outside of myself again, that doesn't mean I'm going to be a cheater or anything like that. What I realized, though, is that my actions define the type of being that I am. So I decide what kind of being I want to be, and I'm that being. So, for instance, if I was in a relationship, I would not cheat on my spouse because I am not a cheater. And that is something that I decided that I am not going to be. I'm not judging those who have been in that position because I have been a cheater when I was younger, when I was a teenager, but also I've had an affair with a married person 20 years ago. And again, it was because I developed some type of weird loyalty to someone who was already married. And so I went against my own better judgment, my own integrity, because I wanted love from a person, so I wanted to make them happy. I've had people, like so many people in my life, hurt me because of their loyalty to their friends, to their family, to their spouses. I've had guy friends that wouldn't allow me in their home because their wife might get jealous. I don't agree with that. In my opinion, if you can't trust your spouse, why are you with them? But the reason why I'm not okay with that is because if they were to have said, I don't want you to stay here because I feel like it's not right for this personal reason, like something in me says it's not right, that's different. But because it is based on what will make this other person happy, I feel like it's a lack of integrity. It's like I won't help someone out of the cold because someone else might get jealous. Or someone who attacks another person, like verbally or even physically attacks someone, not because of anything that they have seen or heard or interacted with this person about, so they actually don't know anything, but because of just hearsay. Because someone that they're loyal to said this about that person, so I'm going to attack them. That doesn't make you a good person. All I'm saying is that someone with integrity has an internal guidance system as to who they want to be. Their loyalty, their decisions are based on that, and they stick to them. No matter who is trying to influence them, no matter whose feelings might be hurt by it, no matter who might be pleased by them making a different decision, they do what their internal guidance system says is right. They don't follow the crowd or follow the leader. The leader is something internal in each of us. So there isn't an let me go ask so-and-so what they think I should do and then doing what that person says. It's one thing to get another's opinion or perspective, but the decision needs to be made by the person who's making the decision. You can't just override your internal knowing of the right thing for you to do and it may be different from one person to the next. And that's totally okay because our world is diverse. And so it needs, there's different ways for people to flow. But the point I'm making, integrity is not about making other people happy and being nice to people when you really feel hateful towards them. That's not integrity. Integrity is, I want to be a caring person. So I really want to care for this person. So how can I become a more caring person and acting from that? I really would like this world to be happier. So, how can I be a happy person? And how can I help others find happiness in themselves? And acting from that. And sometimes the actions that result will be very similar, but there's two different leaders that you can follow. You can follow something outside of yourself and then deny yourself sometimes, or you could follow what's inside of you.